Morning, boys and girls. It's Thursday, the 24th of May, 2018. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming as always from Bracknell in Berkshire. I've just got to turn off an autofocus thing because I noticed I've forgotten to turn it off 1 minute. Otherwise, it'll keep going in and out all the blooming time. And am I looking a bit lower down than I usually am? I seem to be shrinking as the days go on. Hang on. Is it my seat? No, it's not. I'm sure I'm set. I was looking at the picture earlier on while I was just setting up my bits and pieces. But, and I thought you were looking a bit low down in the seat. But if you can only see half the mirror ball and everything is in view, it must be me getting shorter as the time goes on. Well, never mind. I was actually going to go to Littlehampton today. Now, that's somewhere I've never been years and years ago. Littlehampton, because I looked up on the internet, which is my nearest seaside, and I've been here for 25 years now. And I don't know, I've been to the seaside from here, but I've never really known which one is my closest one. Well, it turns out it's Littlehampton, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away, which is a lot quicker than it is driving to work every night. It really is. So I looked it up and I said to my mate, hey, do you fancy going to Littlehampton tomorrow? And he said, yeah, let's do that. So I was going to do that and do a nighttime show. And then while I was, when I got in the car last night, just before I left actually to go home from work, I thought, I wonder what the weather's like tomorrow. And it's rain all day. And it was Ray Reynolds actually, who's, is he with us this morning? Good morning, Ray. Ray's there, yes. It was Ray Reynolds actually who said, it's going to be raining all day tomorrow. And in fact, it started last night, and it's not too bad now, to be honest, but it was quite heavy last night. And according to the weather reports, it's going to rain here all day long today. And we haven't had rain for some time, actually. So the garden does need it. It's going to rain here all day today, and also in Littlehampton. So it's pretty pointless going, because you want to dip your toes in the sea, don't you? Or walk along the beach or something like that. If it's raining, if you've got the choice, it's not much fun. Of course, if you're on holiday and there's a little bit of rain or cloud, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you're away. I think we don't need the sun to be fully bright 24 hours. Well, not 24. You know what I mean. Don't need to be sunny, hot weather all the time when you're on holiday, does it? As long as you're away somewhere. But if you're at home and you've got stuff to do, and then you think, oh well, I won't do that today. I'll go, go to the seaside for the day. But the weather is going to be raining all day. It's not pointless going, really, isn't it? Well, what are we going to do? Sit in a fish and chip shop? That was the idea, you see. We'd leave here, get down there around about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, ready for lunch. Won't get there down too early. Have lunch and then walk around a bit, possibly taking an ice cream dipped in that molten chocolate stuff, which is very nice. Yeah, we like that. So not going to Littlehampton today. I've sent my mate a text message and he hasn't answered. So I hope I haven't pissed him off. So that's it. You remember I said I've got yellow poppies growing in my I bought 2 yellow poppies. I've taken a picture. Look at this. Isn't that stunning? That's one of my big tubs. I've got 3 big tubs there outside the front of my house. They're the new yellow poppies I bought. I think they're about £5.95. Aren't they beautiful? If you look just below the flower heads, can you see the little round things there that are sort of drooped over? They're more poppy heads coming out. And they really are stunning. They're bright, bright yellow. They're like the same colour, I suppose, as huge buttercups. And that's them. Now, behind those, you see there's lots of leaves that look the same. Yeah? Just behind the poppies, they are lilies. Now, those lilies are several years old now. They're about 4 or 5 years old now, and there are loads of them. And they'll be opening up within, I don't know, probably about 6 weeks' time. I'll get some more pictures. You will be amazed at how many lilies they are. They were a gift for me. Well, just a few plants, which I put in the big pots from actually my mate's mother. Carol, who watches the show sometimes, And I put them in these pots and they multiplied, and I put them in bigger pots and they multiplied. Now, and they're big tubs, the entire huge tubs are now filled with lilies. And don't worry that anyone's going to nick the tubs. There's no way two people would carry one of those. You've got to empty out the earth first. If you ever want to put tubs outside the front of your house and you don't want someone to nick them, get great big ones because they can't lift them then. And make sure you keep watering them. Very, very important to water those hanging baskets and plants in tubs, boys and girls. All right, so that's the poppies. Beautiful. You get all different colours. You get red ones, of course. The only thing with poppies, and I've said before, you get about 3 days out of them, 3 or 4 days. That's it. They're gone. They're gone until next year. Hopefully, though, they come back up again next year. But you never get sort of more than a few days out of poppies. Beautiful that they are, but they show their beauty just for a short period of time. And then they're gone again. It's only the ugly ones, like me, who stay for years and years and you can't get rid of us, other than just to turn it off. All right? Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Good morning to Adam the plumber. He's got the first message in this morning. Good morning, Gustav, who wasn't too far from me yesterday, were you? At Gatwick, I think you were, on some sort of course down there. Good morning, Gustav. Tom Gully, good morning, Tom. Andy Baker, morning, Andy. Shane Cameron, Mr. Ray Reynolds, there he is. Hidey hi, hidey ho. Johnny Key hasn't done that one for ages now at the karaoke. He must do that one soon. It's very popular, the theme music to Hidey Hi. Good morning to Scott Samuel Jukes. Good morning to you. I think you're new to the show today. Welcome along. The lovely, delightful Angela Waters is there, and it's her mum's birthday. Oh, come on then. What's her name? What's her name, Angela? Of course, Angela says, I couldn't live an hour and 20 minutes away from the beach. I suppose it's cold there. What's your hottest day ever? Ooh, I think the hottest day here ever was something like 36 or 37 centigrade. It's about 110, something like that. That is some years ago. We don't really have the massively hot days that I know you have in Australia, which seems to get a little bit hotter every year, Australia. It really does. But most Australians, I think I'm right in saying, don't live far away from the beach at all. All your settlements are kind of around the outside, except for Canberra. But that's got a massive, a man-made lake there that I thought I could run around once, didn't I? After running for an hour and a half, I still hadn't got halfway round it, so I turned round and come back the other way. Morning to Colin this morning. Good morning, Colin. Diane Jeb. Thank you, Diane. Angela says behind you looks like Marijuana. What, this? I don't look anything like Marijuana. That's what do you call it? I think it's apple blossom or cherry blossom. One of the two. It's pretty, isn't it? Marijuana. Oh, what do you mean this? It doesn't look like anything like Marijuana plants. They look like the tomato plants, don't they? I used to grow tomato plants out there, but unfortunately, I kept getting blight on them. So once you've had blight on tomatoes once, you can't grow them in that particular area of the garden again. So that's about 2 years ago, because it just keeps coming back. So I can't do tomatoes at the moment. But tomato leaves look like marijuana. This don't look like anything like a marijuana plant. Look, dear. Oh, hang on. Oh, God blimey, hang on. It's all collapsing. Yeah, how does that look like a marijuana plant? Look, nothing, leaves are nothing like this. An orchid, dear, an orchid. Oh, by the way, orchids, I meant to tell you. Ray, your orchid's dead. Can you buy me another one, please? Similar, with the arch that goes right away around it. Ray Reynolds, your orchid died, literally. Do you want me to show you? Hang on. Look, what happened? Dear, all the leaves have gone floppy and everything, dear. I don't know what went wrong with that one. They don't all last, do they, orchids? They're funny things. I've got a few that are like 3-4 years old. Others, you have them for, until the flowers drop off, which is a long time still. You know, it's worth buying an orchid. Spend £10 on an orchid. You'll probably have that for 2-3 months minimum before those flowers drop off. And then, you know, if it dies after that, well, it's only 10 quid, isn't it? It's a lot cheaper than having cut flowers. But Ray Reynolds, your one hasn't survived this time, I'm afraid. Mind you, gave me... Oh, the rubber plant is still downstairs. I don't think it's dead. On the other hand, it don't seem to be growing. So, I mean, it doesn't really get the sun there. Maybe I'll move it and try that somewhere else. Andy, how lovely those yellow flowers look like the shape of a duckling. Do you think so? Let's have another look, shall we? Where's my poppies? There we are. There's my poppies. Yeah, they do, don't they? They're so pretty. I've got 2 of them, one in each pot on the side there. I've actually done some more videos and that of the garden, the flowers, so I can put that together another intro video for you in the next few weeks or so. All right. Angela just planted tubs with guaves. Beautiful cactus. Now, I'm not good at cactuses. I either don't put enough water in or too much. I'm very, very difficult with cactus. Yeah. Pauline, happy birthday today to Pauline. All right, Pauline, happy birthday to Angela's mum. You did say it was your mum, didn't you? 1 minute. Pauline's birthday today. Is she in Melbourne as well? Hang on, there we are. Pauline is her mum's birthday. Is she in Melbourne as well, your mum? Happy birthday to Pauline today. Good morning to David Pears, who says 37. No, I don't think she's 37, Dave. No, I think Pauline might be just a touch older than 37. All right, Dave. Angela says Lake Bury Griffin in Canberra. Is that what it's called? Burley Griffin. I don't know what it's called, but I tried to run around it, and it's much bigger than you think it is. All right. Good. Over on YouTube. Good morning to Joanna. Morning, Joanna. Paul Mosley's there in lovely Birmingham. Is it raining there as well? We've got crap weather here today. It's very dark out there. We've had like 2 weeks now of really nice weather, so I expected this. Unfortunately, it's come on this very day that I was going to go down to Littlehampton for the... Anyone know much about Littlehampton? Is it someone... Ray Reynolds was telling me last night it's quite old-fashioned there, which I quite like old-fashioned seasides. You know, without the Boots, the Chemist and the Tesco Express. I quite like chip shops and ice cream shops and little souvenir places where you can buy, I don't know, a little model of a lighthouse which says Littlehampton on it and underneath made in China. I quite like all those sort of things. Paul says our closest beach is Western Super Mud, 95 miles away. Western Supermare, I think that was the very first Pontins we went to, was at Western Supermare, called Seacroft. Would it be Seacroft? I think it was called Seacroft or... Hang on, let me have a look. Pontins. Pontins Western Super. Let's see what comes up. No, Sand Bay, that was it. All right, there's some pictures there. Hang on. It looks exactly the same as it used. Oh, no, that looks like an old picture. I don't know what it's like there now. There's Pontins. Wow. Got the swimming pool. I don't know how old that picture is, actually. Yeah, it was Sand Bay. I believe that was the very first Pontins that we ever went to. Sand Bay, yeah. Gosh. Angela's mum lives in Yarrawonga. Oh, you go to Australia, there's these wonderfully named places. Yarrawonga. There's Woi Woi. Wai. There's so many different names to these places in Australia. And then you've got, like, Newcastle, Liverpool, Clapham. Honestly, it's great in Australia. I love it there. Scott, it's pouring down in Blackpool this morning. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Never been there. Never been to Blackpool. Should go there, really. I should go there. Let's have a look there. 37 is the Hart brother. I don't know. What do you mean by that, Dave? Tell us what you mean by that. We're not sure what you mean by that. Please explain a little bit more, and then we'll understand, okay? Good morning to Claire L. Morning, Claire. How did Slimming World go, Claire? We want to know. Claire says Littlehampton is very nice. There's a small pleasure park with a donut and ice cream parlour. Best donuts on the south coast. You see, that's okay, even if you're going to Slimming World. Now and again, you can have a little day treat. You know, one meal out of 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. So if you have 21 meals in between your Slimming World weigh-ins, and one of them is off plan, that's okay. That's okay. That's not a problem. You know, when people go to Slimming World and say, oh, you've put on 3 pounds this week. Oh, Oh, that must have been that half a sausage roll I had at the wedding. No, it weren't the half a sausage roll, love. It was the other bits that you've had. Oh, I don't think I've had. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You ain't going to put on £3 from half a sausage roll 4 days ago. No. I think someone's selling porky pies. Porky pies. So Claire maintained this week. Okay. Seemed to have a good then bad week, alternately weighting the same stuff. Hope to do better next week. Okay. Carry on, Claire. Remember, you haven't maintained, but you haven't. You have maintained, but more importantly, it hasn't gone up. Okay? It hasn't gone up. Claire, did you go to Pontins at Prestatyn during the 1970s and 80s? I used to go every year for the snooker tournament. No, I didn't. Didn't go to Prestatyn. Prestatyn was one of the ones that we didn't go to. We went to Sandbay, Weston-super-Mare. We went to Seacroft, which I remember now, I think is in Norfolk. We went to Bracklesham Bay. We went to Riviera. And there's another one. Oh, gosh. What's the other one now? Thinking carefully. Can't remember the name of the other one. But they were all fantastic. They were all very much. You know, we had great times holidays at Pontins in the 1970s. The food was amazing. If you've never been to a holiday camp, what used to happen, I don't know what happens now, it's been so long since I've been to one, is that you'd check in, you put your stuff in, you'd have a chalet, which always smelt a little bit musty, you know, a little bit damp, a little bit musty, but it was okay. It was all clean and nice, and a shower and carpets and all that business. And there would always be activities during the day, the donkey derby, knobbly knees competition, swimming pool gala, little crazy golfs, things to climb on for the children and all that business. And then meal times would be set. So you'd have breakfast sort of 8:30 to 10 o'clock, and you'd turn up at the breakfast. Everyone get there at 8:30. You'd sit down, all be served onto the table by good-looking waiters and waitresses. And then lunch, I think, was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, you'd all go down to the big dining area. 1 o'clock. The meals were the biggest part of it, I think. And they were good meals, and they weren't mucked around with. You know, I don't ever remember. It was all English food. There was never a curry or a Chinese or anything like that. That was of the time, you see, the 1970s. You'd have a roast dinner every day, and the potatoes to die for, and they'd all come in these stainless steel metal things, carried and all on the table, and you up yourself. And generally, you would be put with another family, so you'd have two families on a long table, and the hall would be full of long tables. And sort of towards the end of the meal, someone would stand up, one of the blue coats, which are the entertainment staff. I'm scared, I've got itchy noses one. One of the entertainment staff would stand up on a chair and tell you what was going on that day or that night, depending on the time, you see. And then again, you go back there at night. I think dinner time was something like 7 p.m, 8 p.m, something like that. 6 p.m. even, and you'd go and have your dinner. And again, a bloke would stand up and tell you what the entertainment was that night. And from there, you'd go into the ballroom, I think, and they'd start off with bingo. You could play bingo. And then they'd have entertainment on. There'd be like a band, usually. There were no DJs. No DJs. You'd have a band on playing covers, maybe a bit of background music, and some singer, juggler, entertainer, comedian, something like that. Then a bit more dancing. And then at 12 o'clock, everyone went to bed. It was all over by 12 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, they'd have something going on for the children. So the children would come onto the dance floor, and we'd have Simple Simon Says. Simple Simon Says, put your hands on your head, let your back roll, slips and knees. Oh, yes. And then you'd have the hokey cokey, knees bend, arms stretch, rah, rah, rah. You put your right arm in, your right arm out. Oh, yes. And then we'd have March of the Mods. Do you remember that one? Da 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 da. And then what else? And then they'd sing Goodnight Children. When I say good night, children, see you in the morning. Good night, children, I can see you yawning. And it was a play on the song Goodnight Campers, which you can find on YouTube. And it's something when Uncle Fred said, it's time that you were in bed. Oh, God, I remember like it was yesterday. It was fantastic, Pontins. Absolutely fantastic. Claire, if you go as often as I did, you'll know everything what I just said to you. You will have experienced all that. And as children, we absolutely loved it. And I wanted to be a Pontins Bluecoat. I wanted to do that job. I saw them entertaining the people. I was fascinated. We had a proper great big stage with proper lights and curtains and orange, what were the speakers at the sides? Tannoy speakers down the side. I was fascinated by the whole setup and I wanted to do something like that. And I do. And I was lucky enough. I started becoming a DJ and then the karaoke and all that. And I do something similar to that, except not in a holiday camp situation. There were no security staff. You know, when we go to Haven Holidays now, you've got security staff around the outside because people can't behave themselves anymore. People don't seem to realise that it is inappropriate to fight and chuck classes and things like that. So all these places now have got security staff. How sad is that? We never had that. And it was also safe to go and put your child in the chalet and leave them there. This is what used to happen. You could put your child back in the chalet at bedtime and then come back to the entertainment complex where you would be entertained. And there would be people from the holiday camp walking around all the chalets at night, listening out to hear if anyone was crying. And if there was a child crying in a chalet, they would come back and there would be a board on the stage, a blackboard on the stage, and baby crying in chalet 227 or something like that. And then you'd see that and you go back. That was quite normal. You know, when you see this that couple that lost the child in Portugal, they left them in a hotel room. Well, they used to do that all the time in the 1970s. No one went missing. No, it was a different world. It was a better world, I'm sure. There was no electronic devices like little intercoms where you can hear a child, you know, on your mobile phone or something. You know, you go down the road and put this thing on, you can listen to it, or you could set up Facebook or something. We didn't have anything like that. You just simply put your child in the chalet and they went to bed. You obviously, you'd wait for them. You know how it is when you've got children. You lay down next to them, pretending that you're going to go to sleep. And once they're off you went back to the entertainment complex. Safe, fully happy in the knowledge that the child was safe in that chalet. And there was someone from Pontins, a few people from Pontins, walking round listening for children crying. Of course, you know, chalets in the middle of basically nowhere. If you got a child crying, you could hear them from half a mile off. And that's just how it was then. These days, when I expect some of you who are of perhaps around the age of 30 will be shocked and horrified to realise that people used to leave their children in chalets on their own. But that's how it was. And nothing happened. Nothing ever happened. You know, that's how it was. Paul says, I love bingo at the seaside. It's so crap, it's good. Oh, yeah, and you got the coloured doors, haven't you, at the seaside doing bingo? Red, on its own, number 1. That would have a little red door. Yellow, all the ones, legs 11. So, yeah, a yellow door, and you close it, wouldn't you? There's nothing to mark off at the seaside bingos. I love the little shutters. As a child, we used to go in and out of these, you know, the machine places, the arcades. And we go over to the bingo, you know, and we start pulling all the little things across, the little shutters. Green, 709, 79. White, 90, blind 90. Purple, 7 and 6, 76. I did bingo as well. I used to do my own version of bingo. We called it Bingay. Bingay, we called it, and it was just bingo, camp bingo. That's all it was. I didn't quite have the big thing full of balls, but I wanted one of those, but they're hideously expensive. I would do that again, bingo. Bingay, that was great fun, that was. Claire says, I used to love the restaurant at Butlins. Everyone used to cheer when the waiters dropped a plate, which seemed to happen quite often. Yeah, I think they were doing it on purpose. At the seaside bingo, Paul says you've got to play it all day to win some crappy teddy. You do, because you win tokens, don't you? Oh, so you've got 5 wins. 5 wins. What can I have for that? A Mars bar. You spent 20 quid trying to win this Mars bar, haven't you? But it's all about the fun of playing. Isn't it exciting playing bingo? And it doesn't matter whether the prize is, I don't know, £10,000 on a link game or a packet of custard creams. There's just so much excitement at bingo. Which reminds me, we got a bingo here and I've been trying to convince my mate to join it. I think we could go there one night a week or one afternoon a week. So much fun, bingo. It really is. Claire loved everything about holiday camps. Paul used to go to Prestatyn a few times to see the snooker. That was in the 90s. Yes, of course. And Mr. Reardon, wasn't it? Ray Reardon. No relation to me. Was it Ray Reardon? He used to do the snooker, and people would always ask us if we were related to him in some way. Claire says her dad was a good snooker player and won a Pontins Holidays. They were aboard. We never went on a Pontins holiday. Go Pontins. I think it was in Spain or somewhere like that. It wasn't that far running. And he won a Pontins holiday 2 years running. He played most of the pros over the years. He must have played Mr. Reardon, did he? The last time Claire went was 1979, 1980 when she was 18. So the last time I went, 63, 73, 4, round about 75, 76. Then it became one of those, not abusive, what's the word? Rebel teenagers. I didn't want to go on holiday with my mum and dad anymore. You know, I was so ungrateful. So ungrateful. One year, I'm not coming unless I get my own chalet. They got my own chalet. I got my own chalet. And I still moaned. I was so ungrateful as a child. And I tell you what, when your mum and dad have died, it comes back to punch you in the face time and time again. How ungrateful you were. Awful. Awful. Let's have a look over here. Andy, I remember the horse game when you have to push balls up a ramp onto the selected holes to make the horse go faster. Yes, I know that one. Did you push them up or did you throw them? I think there were 2 games. I know there's one where you throw them and there's there's these, I think there's 6 horses. They're racing, aren't they? 6 horses going along at the back and you've got round circle things and you chuck the ball up. Right, and there's holes, and if it lands in that holes, your horse moves forward 3 places, and it goes, and then if you get one, just one. That's like it. And the idea is, you're playing. I don't know if you're playing against a machine or no, you're playing against other people, right? Because there's a long thing, isn't there, with all these holes in it, and so someone's there, and you've got to get your ball in your selected hole to make your horse move forward. I know that one, yes. Good morning, Chris Andrews. Morning, Karaoke Chris is in house. Your name came up the other day. I was talking to my accountant. We got the same accountant, haven't we, Chris? That's how we met, isn't it? I think that's how I met my accountant, through you. I'm sure it was, Chris. Good morning, Marcos, who remembers going here as a child, full board, meals were great, and all under one roof. And I remember winning fancy dress for my reunion of for my Renian of a pirate, and I had a picture taken with his crocodile. Crocodile, that was something Pontins introduced, crocodile, but it wasn't there when I was a child, the whole crocodile thing. Ray went to Pontins Pakefield, didn't go to that one either, in 1976 in Lowestoft, and Middleton Tower, Morecambe, didn't go to that one either, in 1967, and 1969 to Sunshine Holiday Camp, Hayling Islands. I didn't go to any of those. I think we went to a Warner Holiday, that's the yellow one, wasn't it? Well, they had yellow coats. We went to Warner Holidays on the Isle of Wight, but I don't remember much about that. For some reason, we never went to Butlins. I don't know why. We didn't go to Butlins. Because at one point, Butlins and Pontins were together, weren't they? They worked together and then they split up and did their own thing, I think. Shane says, what's your favourite biscuits, Chris? Favourite biscuits? Cadbury's chocolate fingers. And Cadbury's do a chocolate. Oh, I've started mouth watering now. And Cadbury's chocolate shortbread are nice as well. I like those two. All right. Good morning, non-Irish Mary from Ireland. People were asking me the other day, why do you call non-Irish Mary from Ireland non-Irish Mary from Ireland? Well, because Mary, some time ago, probably a couple of years ago now, told me, even though she's from Ireland, she's not really Irish because she looks back at her family tree. But she is from Ireland, and I got very confused. So that's why Mary is called non-Irish Mary from Ireland. I've got nicknames for lots of people actually. There's a lad, and he's been on the television now, but before he became as into what he does, he does not mind reading. What is it called? Tarot cards. He does tarot cards, and his name was Mick, and I called him Voodoo Mick, and that stuck. Voodoo Mick is in the house. Yes, reading your tarot cards. You ever had yours read? Eh? I had some bloke read my blooming my hand once. Silence he was. Lovely chap. Used to come along to my karaoke, Silence. And he looked at my hand and he said, oh. I said, what? He said, you're going to die at 57. So remember that, gang. I'm 55 now. I'm worried. 57. I've got less than 2 years left here. One Christmas. What do I do? What do you reckon? He was looking at my hand. Can anyone do hand reading? There you go. Have a look at that. What's that telling you? Anyone? Can anyone read my hand, please? Good morning to Rizza. Welcome to the show. Rizza. Welcome to the show. And morning to Evan this morning as well. Chris says, I was DJing at the Black Cap and I was karaoke. Yeah, I remember that, Chris. I remember doing the karaoke with you. But I think, yes, we were indeed introduced to my accountant. And I've still got him. He's fantastic, isn't he? Young Stephen. He's a lovely bloke. He is all the way up in Scotland. So there we are, talking about Pontins there. I don't know how we got onto that. Probably because we were talking about Littlehampton. Claire says we knew Ray Reynolds and Jimmy White, of course, especially Jimmy was a Londoner and Dad played on the London circuit a lot. He's a lovely person. So there we are. She knew all the famous snooker players. Yesterday, I went swimming yesterday and I was going up and down in the pool. It wasn't very busy yesterday. And this lady said, Chris, how are you? And this often happens now because, you know, I've met a lot of people over the years, hundreds, thousands and thousands of people. Say, oh, hello, Chris, how are you? Oh, I'm really well. And I have to pretend that I know them. I haven't got a clue who they are. And that was the case yesterday. I thought, oh, she. Oh, hello, how are you? She says, do you remember me? I said, no. She says, I used to go up the other swimming pool with you up the road. I said, oh, yes, of course I remember you now. And I still didn't have a clue she was this woman. But you have to entertain that, you know. Because I feel a bit rude when I don't remember people. So we're swimming up and down, and that was the end of that conversation, really. And I smiled now and again when I went past her. Anyway, I went back outside. And as I'm leaving, she's leaving as well. I said, all right. I said, I can't remember. Were you a nurse? She said, no, I was BA cabin crew. And bang, it was there. I said, oh, I've got you now. That's it. I remembered her straight away. She said, you silly old fool. I said, that's right. I said, I'm 55. And she said, I was looking really good. Thank you very much. That's all I need to be told. You're looking really good. I do wonder sometimes, you know, when people say, oh, you look so good for your age. What do they mean by that? Or, oh, hello, Chris. You look really well today. As opposed to what? Do I look really ill sometimes then? Anyway, she turns out she works for BA, and I said, well, I'm going on holiday. We're going to BA in business class seats to Las Vegas with my nephew. She said, oh, well, you'll have a good time. I said, you still at BA? She said, no, I had enough of it. I said, why is that? She said, it's changing so much. She said, they're cutting things left, right and centre. Not necessarily their wages, but things for the customers. I don't know if you've been on a BA flight. We were, not we, but it was the world's best airline. It's far from it now. Far from it now. What they did is get a bloke in who run a budget airline, I think in Spain. And that's who now runs what was a premium airline. He runs British Airways. And of course, these people, they only know how to cut things all the time. I know the meals on some of the flights are now basically a sandwich and a small Mars bar. I mean, that's a meal. That's what he considers a meal. They only understand how to cut things, these people. And funnily enough, I said, you're not the only one. I've known other people now who have left BA as cabin crew because the job has changed so much. In fact, I've been told by British Airways cabin crew, next time you go on a long haul, don't bother going on BA. Go on Virgin. He says you'll get a much better service on there. So we are on British Airways this time, but that may well be the last time I fly via them because this idiot from one of the budget airlines in Spain has taken over, and they just understand. They just know how to cut things. And I expect most of you have seen someone come in your place of employment and just start cutting. They don't understand how to improve. They only understand how to cut. Oh, we don't need. Let's cut that off. Let's cut, and you're left with nothing at the same price or more. One of the really annoying things British Airways did, and it is some years ago now. Actually, this may well have happened before he took over. Even in the business, well, you pay the business class fare or the first class, and you expect that's it. That's all you're going to pay for. You're paying a premium, a big premium, as opposed to an economy seat. Well, you would expect to be able to choose your seat for nothing, wouldn't you? No, can't do that on a business class BA, so you've got to pay for that. You've got to pay to... So even after paying that premium, they would then want another 100 odd quid for you to choose your seats. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. It really is. But that's how it is. And this bloke come in and cut all sorts of things left, right and centre. And she said, don't fly on British Airways anymore. She'd just come off there. You know, terrible really when you think about it. Good morning, Juan. Morning, Juan. It's the Middle Eastern airlines really that are swiping now, isn't it? Singapore, Qatar have got a very good name. What's the other one? The red one, Emirates. My mate flies on Emirates a lot. He loves it. He loves it. The British Airways one. I mean, I've no complaints yet. To be honest. And I'm about to go on there again in October to Vegas, and I'll let you know if it's changed at all since the last time I went was, of course, to Australia, which is some years ago now. Maybe it's changed since then. I don't know. But I'll soon find out, and I'll let you know. All right. Good morning to Juan. Morning. Who hasn't been here for a while, have you, Juan? He's watching from Medellin in Colombia. Good morning, Colombia. Am I a breakfast show in Colombia or am I a nighttime show there? I'm not sure what I am in Colombia. All right. Good. So that's done there. So BA to Vegas. I've told you about that. I sat in the garden after lunch yesterday, cut the grass, and it's rained. It's rained all night, so that grass is going to be beautiful and green as soon as, well, it doesn't take long for grass to grow, to go green at all. I never water the lawn. Never, ever water the lawn. Even if it's like weeks and weeks of hot summer, I don't water the lawn because one lot of rain and bang, it's back again. Plants are a different thing altogether. You've got to keep your plants watered. Very quiet for the quiz last night, I have to say. We ended up with just 2 teams left, where was Ray Reynolds' team, who out of 2 teams embarrassingly came second. And they had some clever people on that table. I do like Paul. I got in ever so well with one of the drag queens who turns up, not in drag, his name's Paul. But there was only 2 teams. I think we started with 3. One of the teams were 2 lovely, delightful American young ladies. But of course, a lot of the questions are sort of English-based. Not necessarily about English, but English-based. And I don't think they were doing too well. So they just went, which left us with 2 teams. And Ray Reynolds' team came second, and they won the bottle of wine last night, so that's not too bad. But the whole pub has been very quiet for a couple of weeks now. I thought it was me, and I said to the manageress, I said, Emma, what are the other nights like? She said they'd like this. I said, well, and I always give them the option. It's as I always say, it's not about the money for me, it's doing the job. But there comes a point where you're thinking, is this worth it? Because once again, it was a horrific journey into work again last night. So listen, here's my day yesterday. 2.25 hours to get to the pub, right? I'm in the pub for about 2 hours and 5 minutes doing the job, and an hour and 40 minutes home, which is much longer than usual, because on the way home, they're digging up roads, there's traffic everywhere, and foolishly, the sat-nav was pointing me to go to a different way home last night. Now, the sat-nav picks up traffic and problems normally, most of the time, and it will try and avoid it. And it was telling me to go this way, and I thought, I don't want to go that way today. I'll go my normal route. Oh, big mistake that was. There I was in queues of traffic, digging up roads, diversions, and it's all the time. Driving in London is becoming a real bad nightmare. It's 2 hours to get to work almost every single time I go. I was talking to my nephew, Jimmy. He's the one coming to Vegas on the way home last night. I thought I'd give him a ring. I wonder if he'll still be up, because he's just split up with his girlfriend. And he was saying, well, we don't get all this up here. My sister will always use whatever excuse my sister can find for trying to get me to move up north, which is a possibility. It is a possibility. Whatever excuse my sister can find to get me to move up north, she or any member of the family will use it. And it's always, well, if you come up here. So, of course, my nephew was able to use that one. Well, we don't have that up here. I said, well, you must have traffic sometimes. He said, we get about a half-hour rush hour between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, and between about 5 p.m. and 5:30 at night. That's it. The rush hour in London starts at around about 3:30 in the afternoon and goes on until about 8 p.m. I just don't understand how I can be driving at 7:45 at night and still in queues of traffic trying to get through. I think one of the reasons is these damn cycle lanes. They keep stealing not part of a road but entire lanes to put another cycle lane in. We can't move around. It is, and I can't travel in by train because I take equipment with me. On a Wednesday night, I've got a bag full of questions and little answer sheets. I've got a mixer, I've got a computer, and I've got a mic. I can't carry that on the train. Impossible. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I said, jokingly, oh, my mate's there. There he is. Look, I'll read that in a minute. I said to my mate 2 years ago, when occasionally I would get a 2-hour journey. But it wouldn't happen all the time. What used to happen is that it would take between an hour and an hour 45. Now, 2 hours from an hour and 45 is only 15 minutes. I'll give you that, right? But it makes all the difference, especially if it's all the time. What used to happen, it would be about an hour 30, an hour 45, roughly. Now and again, you get 2 hours. In November, it would go up to 2 hours, about halfway through November until Christmas. Christmas would come and go, and you'd be back down to 1:30, 1:45. The thing is, it didn't happen this time. It went to 2 hours and hasn't come back down again. And that's been 6 months now, 5 months now. And it's impossible. It's impossible to move around in London now. And I don't know what's happened there. Someone's changed the the roadworks are unbelievable what's going on here at the moment. And the building work. It's just ridiculous. It goes on and on and on. Awful. So that was the journey home last night. Got home, watched a bit of telly, went to bed, and here we are chatting this morning. This morning I've been up to do my car insurance. Here, the AA. Where is it now? 1 minute. Where's the AA one? The AA. I was with the AA last year. Similar. No, I haven't got it here now. It's no, I haven't got it here. But I was with the AA last year, and every year, just like with my gas and electricity, I've just changed my gas and electricity suppliers to outfoxthemarket.com. They're the cheapest ones. Don't ever think that one electric company is going to give you something extra to go with them. No, you just go for the cheapest one. It is as simple as that. When you're going for electricity and gas prices, you simply go for the cheapest one. You're only interested in the price. That's all. Okay? With insurance companies, slightly different. That some of them offer you a little bit here, a little bit there. But generally, I go for the cheapest price. And every single year now, I seem to have to change car insurance companies. I don't understand how insurance companies work. I really don't, because whenever they give you the renewal quote, it's always hugely inflated. Always. And they lose people. Surely it's cheaper for them to retain people than it is for them to attract new ones. But there you go. And once again, the premium had jumped up by about £140. Okay, £140. So I went online and it was something like £620 for fully comprehensive on my car for a year's insurance this year with the AA. So I'm on the phone to them and he said, oh, I can try some things. And he said, well, I can't get any from anywhere below the 620 is the least I can do. And I managed to go with, I think it was Skippy or something like that. Skippy Insurance for 430. It's a huge difference. How can it be so different? So I've gone with Skippy Insurance and I paid that this morning. So I've done all that insurance this morning, and that starts at the end of the month. How fabulous is that? Always, please, gang, never ever accept the renewal quote. Look around. It's quite simple to type it into one of the perhaps comparethemarket.com or a U-Switch or something like that. There's a lot of those insurance companies around, sites around, and you just type in your details and go with the cheapest one and be done with it. But don't lie on there. Whatever you do, don't lie, because they look for, if you have to make a claim, they will look. If you must put down that 3 points you've got for speeding or something like that, or the fact that perhaps, I don't know, you might have put a couple of holes in the exhaust pipe to make it noisy like the lads do, don't they? Oh, I can't bear it. I do like a silent car. When my car's in electric mode, it's completely silent. I love it. That always impresses my niece. She loves my car being silent. Ronnie says, yep, not a good idea to go Littlehampton today. Good. He's coughing again. Oh, dear. I shall be swimming. Let's have a look. Shall be swimming 11 to 12 of the ladies. Okay. I shall call you after. Ray says my neighbour's Range Rover was stolen on Saturday night from outside his house. Returned from the police with false number plates on Tuesday. It's been stolen again in the night. So he had it nicked on Saturday night. He got it back again. And now it's been nicked again. Wow. Oh, that's unbelievable. And it's like is it like a top of the Range Rover or just a basic Range Rover? See, because it's these key things, isn't it? No one's got a key that you're pushing and turn anymore. You just push a button. And I think the dodgy people have got these like devices, and I think they can stand next to you or outside your house or something, and they push some buttons on this little device that I don't know where they get them from. And then they do something to your key and the car opens and starts. It's terrible. And yet they tell us car security is the best it's ever been. I don't think so. It used to be only the old cars that they could nick, but they're one step ahead of the security people all the time, aren't they? Oh, well, you couldn't make that up, Ray. I can't believe it's been nicked again. He's going to have to get a camera put outside or something. I mean, if he goes to, I don't know if the Maplins are still open. Some of their stuff is like 80% off at the moment. That's terrible, isn't it? Good morning, Lee Marshall. Good morning, Lee. Has life on Gorgeous FM. Did you go on the DAB, incidentally, Lee? I know you was I think you were thinking about going on the DAB at some point. Did you get on there in the end? Marcos, Skippy Go, that's one. Skippy Go Insurance, they're great. Yeah, so I've got on with them. I'll tell you the price, actually. Do you want to know what the price is? So AA were quoting me 620 odd. I was with them last year. They were the cheapest, you see. But you'd think they would want to keep your customer. I don't understand how companies just let people walk out the door. I've had this many times. We had it at Curry's a little while ago. They'd advertised the telly for £900 odd, right? I left it 2 days and I went in there and it was £1,200. I said, well, that was £980 the other day. Oh, well, we changed on a day-to-day basis. I said, well, I've got £1,000 on me to buy that telly today. Do you want to sell it to me for the old price? No, we can't do that. Well, I says, Well, that's what it was 2 days ago. He said, yeah, but we can't sell it for the old price now. If you come back tomorrow, it might change again. Are you for real? You think I'm going to come back in here tomorrow? Stupid people. And then he said, let me see if there's something else. So he showed me something else, but it wasn't as good as the one that was advertised a few days ago. And it was the actual telly. The price had just gone back up another 200 quid. Okay, then fine. And he let me walk out the door. I was there ready to give him almost £1,000. He let me walk out the door. How stupid are you? This is why business is doing so badly in some of these places. I feel a bit sorry for Marks and Spencer's. That's one of those. I think that's got a good chance of going under. Marks and Spencer's. I mean, they're all right with their food stuff. Their food is top notch, isn't it? Marks and Spencer. But no one wants the clothes. No one wants them. Oh, well, they're all buying it online. I mean, I must admit, I don't like buying clothes online, really. I ordered a pair of jeans once on Amazon, and I had to send them back 3 times before I got the right size. And maybe I just got fatter each time I sent it in. Now, let's see if I can find this. There we are. Go Skippy. Go Skippy. There it is. £468.47 I paid. All right. Where the AA was... Oh, I haven't got... The AA was something like 640. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? So they let me go. Wouldn't you say, well, what was your best thing? Oh, well, that was 400. Okay, we'll do it for that. Wouldn't you say that? I would. I would. That's mad. Absolute madness. Lee is now on DAB. DAB radio. Yes. Is there a little place for me on a Monday morning there, Lee? 10 till 11. I'm on Reach at the moment, but they seem to be having trouble with the quality of the audio stream. I don't know if you've heard any of mine, Lee, but it's got glitches in it, and they don't seem to be able to sort it out. You know what I mean by glitches, don't you? And it's annoying. Not for me, but for the listener. Obviously, I hear what's coming straight off the desk here, so I don't hear it. But certainly Ray Reynolds has mentioned to me there's a little bit of glitching going on, and it's very, very annoying. Very annoying. Paul says £620. That's not bad for a Bentley, Chris. I wish I'd love a Bentley. Good morning, Mike. Welcome to the show, Mike. I'd love a Bentley. I'd like a class car. I'm not a Porsche or a Ferrari or even a BMW man. That's not me. I'm a Bentley, Rolls Royce, real class, old type. You know, sort of a bit more square. Range Rover, I like Range Rover, but again, the old type. I don't like these new Range Rovers. They're flat on top, aren't they? I suppose they're much better for the environment, really, and more sort of streamed in the air, aren't they? But not really for me. I like a class car. Bentleys are beautiful. Proper old car. In fact, my mate once, he was lent a Mercedes, like a silver Mercedes. I think it was a top-notch car, that was. And as my mate said, it didn't drive, it glided. This car didn't drive, it glided. It glided along. It was, you'd like, the engine wasn't even on. You know, beautiful, beautiful car. Thank you, Lee. Yes, I'll consider that, Lee, actually. I'll consider that, but you probably want more than an hour on a Monday morning, would you? Mind you, I've got some nights off now. I'm filling my lights now. I've stopped looking around for karaoke and quiz nights because it's a nightmare. All these jobs keep nearly starting and then they don't get anywhere. So, it's not me, is it? You know, it can't be me because I'm not actually... It's not like I'm starting the job and they decide, oh, we don't really like him, and then they pull it. It doesn't actually start. You get the date and everything, and oh, we've decided not to do it. Andy, have you thought about doing your show as a podcast as well? I used to, Andy. You mean as an audio-only podcast, don't you? Yeah, well, that's how I started doing this. It was audio-only. Years ago, it's going back about 14 years ago, we were audio-only to start with. And then the video came along, and I did both for a while, and then I just dropped the audio, and no one even noticed, so it was... So that was the right thing to do. All right. Let's have a look here. Paul says, my neighbour has a brand new camper van last year. It was £40,000. After 6 months, it just disappeared off the drive. They never found it. There's a lot of camper van theft around. That's awful. Camper van. Camper vans are good. Do they have toilets on them? You see, I couldn't be emptying the toilet. Oh, no. Oh, God. I couldn't. Why can't camper vans and caravans, so you got the toilet in there. Why can't they just have a little button so that when you push the button and the flap opens and it just drops out? Why can't they be made like that? No, I gather, I've never seen one before, but I gather there's some sort of cassette. There's some sort of cassette that you pull out. But even the fact that I was carrying around my own poo and wee would do my head in. Oh, and it would be slopping backwards and forwards in there, wouldn't it? Oh! Oh, no, that's just ghastly and awful and terrible, that is. Awful. Dear. Angela says, my friend Ronnie Vincent is coming to London. He sings Cat Stevens. Oh, yes. I think I sent you a karaoke poster, didn't you? I think you did there. Yes, thank you, Mike. All right. Good. Well, how are we doing on time? Let's have a look. Oh, I think we're going to go now. Yeah, it's 10:30. I've got to take my pills now. Otherwise I would die on air in front of you. And without advertising it, that's pointless. Pointless to die on air and not advertise it. It really is. Happy birthday. Oh, just a moment. Good morning to Ice. Good morning to Ice Baby, who's watching in Camden Town. Good morning, Ice. Hope you're well. Let's do today's birthdays then. Happy birthday this morning to Philip Dove. Happy birthday, Philip. Hope you're well, sir. To Robert Pellis in Iceland. Long time no speak. I hope you're doing well there, Robert. He flies little planes. Emma Dykey, 50 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Pete Blakely, who is a famous DJ. Happy birthday, Pete. Still doing the old DJing. I gave up about 9 months ago. I stopped most of my DJing. I do a little bit of DJing now with hosting at Central Station on Saturday nights, but that's about it now. I don't do the clubs anymore. I got really fed up with it. Sitting in a box, playing records to people. Bored now. But I had a good time. I had a good time in the 30-odd years I did that. I'm glad I did it. Yeah, great. Maria Anna Del Carmen is 29 years old today. Happy birthday to you. All right, so happy birthday, boys and girls. Here comes the birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I think I was a bit out of tune then. Did I hit a bum note then? A bum note, boys and girls. Andy, it worries me when people use the toilets on airplanes. I mean, does it just come out when in flight? Who knows what could be landing on your head? It's all a bit worrying. Have a lovely Thursday, boys and girls. Enjoy whatever you're doing today. Thanks very much for watching and listening. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning, round about the same time. Cheerio now.